We are live. Hello, everyone. Hi. It's such a pleasure to have Amanda Belluso and Andrea Belluso here with me to start.
Happy to be here.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
So we really desire, like, it's funny how things have been creating, right? And talking about gambling, right? Like, it's really like, for me, it's a little bit of, and when you are not English as your first language, words don't have sometimes the same energy. Me and Andrea are Italian, but for me, gambling has also as well, there's a little bit of, like, it's not such a forbidden thing, right? But if you're looking from an etymology perspective and what there is, like, all hidden and what this word brings itself energetically, it's quite huge. Because if we compare it to, it's always weird, like in StreamYard, I'm moving. Sorry, I need to, yeah. So, and let me check. Yeah, here we go. So it's really like, whoa. Oh, by the way, have you seen down there? If you share, we will have 1 hour marathon about. And now I started with Andrea and Amanda's guest, and then there'll be more. And if you share this Facebook Live with the hashtag Gambling with Francesca, you have the possibility to win 15-minute session with myself. So just to say cool. What is for you guys when we're talking about that?
Well, yeah, you mentioned the fact that we're Italian, and when you said that, the first thing that came up is that in Italian gambling we also call it like gioco d'azzardo, which means a hazardous game, a dangerous game. So what I'm picking up with this is how much are we not in that kind of energy and reality when we talk about gambling, and especially when we talk about gambling with our lives and our businesses.
Mm-mm.
And when Amanda mentioned this live yesterday to me, I got really excited about it, and I see how much we're gambling all the time.
People think we're totally nuts all the time.
Yeah, and also how much people, yes, thank you for that one. How much people think that we're nuts and we're playing dangerous games, hazardous games with our lives and business. And how much have we not bought ourselves the fact that we should not be playing such hazardous games too much, because otherwise it will be way too dangerous. I mean, that's insane, right?
It's pretty insane. Exactly. It's also like when you talk about that as well, like I mean, you can actually be attached to a definition, right? Yeah. And it's your choice to keep, being attached to a certain definition, to don't see what are the other possibilities.
Exactly.
Behind that, right? Because as well, like when you gamble or gioco d'azzardo, as you say in English now, I don't remember right? In Italian, but it's also like most of the time, what are actually people, what actually brings people to gamble? Like there is an energy of desperation, right? Or because they already have a result in mind. If I'm doing this, I might become, right? Or if I do this, but there is no joy on it.
That's true. That is true.
So every time. So if you are willing to, so in Italian we say, if you don't risk, you basically don't eat, in a way. Like it's basically, yeah. And it's also the fact that how much are we willing, like exposing each other, be willing to, leap or jump out of the cliff, right? Yeah. To for me, it's also like most of the time to have more of us. And I know this is a more huge, but also we are talking about money, right? With gambling, like to have actually more wealth and money in our life. Right? Like it's also like you guys as well, you live a lifestyle that a lot of people might judge, or because they would love to have it. Because they would love to have it. But I would love to say as well, like, hasn't been always like that. I know there's been like, hasn't been, or has been always like for you, choosing, like greater, choosing actually the gambling thing without having a result in mind? What was it?
Yeah, most of the time it is, and I'm saying most of the time because we're not perfect. So sometimes, of course, we go into, at least I speak for myself, I go into like, oh, this is great, nobody can see the possibility here, but I will do it because, and then I attach the result and the expectation right after that. And when I do that, and we've been catching each other more and more and faster latest few months especially, of like, oh wow, that was interesting. So because as soon as we attach that expectation, we realize how that idea or whatever it is, that gambling thing, is actually being destroyed. And it's incredible when you said we go into like, oh, let's do this. Why? Well, because it's fun and because we can, maybe it inspires other people. Even if it inspires one person, that's great. But at least we have fun doing it. And then we see how the energy of this creation starts really bubbling and contributing and not destroying. And we saw this very clearly with a TV program we started producing last year. And as soon as we were going into the expectations, then it was destroying itself and slowing down.
What was it?
And now we have another TV program that we're working on, and we asked questions around it. No, it was last week, I think, or the week before. I don't know. Time. And we asked ourselves and each other, why are we doing this? To really look at it from an energetic point of view and not, this reality point of view. And what came up was like, the idea of this TV program was born out of fun, out of pleasure, out of enjoying certain things together, and also inviting other people that might choose it or not to also choose not to do the same thing, but to choose making choices for themselves to actually enjoy this world more, and their bodies and their life and everything they're putting in their body, everything they're seeing.
I know for us it's so normal talking about choice.
Yeah.
Actually questioning, talking about choice. And for anyone that actually is watching this video and it's outside on my page, one of the, like, I am the worldwide coordinator of Access Consciousness, and these two amazing beings and people are also working with Access Consciousness, and they're creating their life using as well the tools of Access Consciousness. But it's really like, what if one of the things I love about Gary, it's also like, what if in the world everyone is going to use the Access Consciousness tools and no one will ever talk about it? But what is that? Just to have it's really like including everything, like consciousness includes everything and judge nothing, right? So it's also like this open, this willingness to being open to anything. Yeah. Without having a judgment about it, without having a result. And when you don't have a judgment and result as the priorities, you start embracing the fun that you just talk about it. You're just embracing the joy. Because how much we don't even want to talk about creating, like, creating a different reality. It can be a financial reality. And of course, like, who doesn't like money? Also, people, they say,
people hate it. Some people hate it.
I know, yeah, well. But true, like, and so also how you say, like, you guys are creating this for the joy and the fun of it. And from someone else's point of view, might seem, are they crazy? There is no result right away. What they are investing, why they are gambling if they apparently could, that the possibility to lose is so high, why you should it? Yeah. Like if you look at from this side, but what is it here, the secret that you have?
And I mean,
wow.
the thing is,
I don't know. You can't.
I don't know if we can reveal the secrets, can we?
Yeah.
But it's interesting how it's like, you know, in this reality, in this world, you're quote unquote allowed to gamble on something that you really believe in if and when you have like the proof of like, yes, there's a 90% chance that this is actually going to succeed, and the risk is really small, and blah blah blah. Like, there's so much behind when you're allowed to really gamble on you and what you know. But what I've noticed for myself, when I've just made a choice that maybe didn't, you know, maybe it didn't make sense in other people's, you know, eyes, and sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. But, you know, what's the worst thing that can happen? And I think that the most, like for me, the most important quote unquote secret or trick or whatever is that I have this innate kind of trust in myself of like, well, whatever happens, I know I'm gonna, you know, it's gonna work out. No matter if it fails or if it works out or whatever, it doesn't really matter, because I'm here and I know that I got my own back, and I will always, if one thing doesn't work out, okay, then I'll just create something else, you know? And with us having like a million different projects going on at the same time, I always look at it in the way of like, we're throwing 100 things up in the air and maybe 10 of them actually lands. Okay, cool.
And also the thing that for those things that don't land, or for those things that, you know, go wrong or whatever, it's actually not wrong at all. It's actually creating something else. And this is the thing that, you know, most people see that failure is, you know, is bad, because failure is not bringing you to the point B that you were supposed to go to, because that's what you were expecting and hoping for and whatever, when in fact that point B, if you're willing to look at it, is actually the creation of something much, 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 much greater.
Yeah.
Of information, of experience, of whatever, of awareness that could really bring your life as a whole to a totally new level.
Absolutely.
I've seen this a lot, you know, through my life. These called mega failures of, you know, even going bankrupt. You know,
what like, yeah. Sorry, go ahead. Also bankrupt, that's great.
Like, yeah, bankrupt. I mean, you know, I created at one point, and the thing is also to acknowledge that you create all these so-called failures, because the minute you acknowledge them, you can also maybe see the up point, you know, of it. But when you see that you created it, you can also make the choice of creating something else. Because if you're such a potent creator of creating, you know, like I did a few years ago, 2 bankruptcies, a divorce, being completely broke and homeless within a week, then you're a
really cool. I could make you choose, let's do it all in a week, so then I can create something good. So I don't actually waste time, you know? Like, let's have it all in a week.
Yeah, exactly. So I have a question that we could, you know, invite is, how much of a crazy loser, gambler, motherfucker are you willing to be?
Yeah.
To create the future you could actually be choosing.
It's amazing, because like one of the greater things, like I've been when I was reading the Joy of Business book, and when I met Simone Milasas, the author of Joy of Business, it's the fact that, oh, what if you can never fail? Ever, you can't ever, like, can't never. Yeah, what if failure it's not true? I'm like, I was actually always like comparing myself. Like, if I look at the amount of money went through my hands, and just like for me it was like plop in this black hole, hop, hop all the time. So what if it's not about this? It's just about money, about business, about creation. What if you can educate yourself with a different awareness? What if because then it's really the fact, as you say, like you came to a point when you say, I actually, the amount of awareness I had through my bankrupt, the divorce, and being without money, being without, like, I don't know, from a life that you were apparently super successful, money, everything, like you will never went through that, right? And you will never be what you've been today without that. But then you have been willing to ask a question about it, like really like being present, like what we use this question a lot, right? What is right about this I'm not getting?
Yes.
Like universe, show me, like
Brilliant.
what is here for me that I haven't considered, like possible? Because the easier things for all of us is judging us to don't be good enough, because we want to have a right. I don't know, you know, like you want to really have a right comparing to our family reality, our other people's financial reality, for example, whatever there is. But what if you can be different, so different? And that's what you're actually having fun of, being very different.
Yeah.
Right, guys? Yeah. Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Just a bit.
Just a little bit. I love it. And I know it's funny because we choose to have different guests. Now we have another guest online that she's Zeynep from London, but she's originally from Turkey. But then we could stay here together and talking, Andrea and Amanda, for hours about that.
Yes.
Right?
We're good. We're really good.
Yeah, it's cool. Cool. Do you want to say anything else before Zeynep jump on? And
I just think really that what you mentioned as well, like what would you actually choose if you knew you couldn't fail? Like that's such a freedom in that. And really, if we could, you know, what if you could have more of this energy of like, hey, what's the worst thing that can happen? And have that trust in yourself of like, whatever happens, I know that I will always create something. So.
That's lovely. That's amazing. Because also as well, like what is the worst things that could happen? Oh, well, I could lose all my money. Well, money or just money, right?
Yeah.
Like what is that?
Yeah.
What is that? And it's funny because how much we are inviting people now to really, because like the gambling thing, it's really like having already, I'm doing this, I'm betting, like, right, to have a result on it. Yeah. You know how much you can win if that number showed up, the number that you chose, or you buy a ticket of the lottery or whatever there is. But that's not gambling, by the way. It's different. But it's still like, what if you can still have fun with that without having the result in mind? Because it's really like being on the question of, if I'm choosing this, what will be my life? If I'm not choosing this, what will be my life? And be aware of the energy of the future, because like things that actually, what are the worst things that could happen? Like, what if everything, first of all, nothing happened to you because you chose everything. First of all, it's really good. But as well, like, what if everything, as we just say, it's to create more for you, more awareness if you're willing to receive it and look at that. So, you're wonderful, guys. Anyway, go ahead. Hi, Dave.
I can talk for another 2 hours.
Yeah, I know, but we could do it. We can do it again. Yeah, it's so cool.
Yes.
Definitely.
So cool. Okay, so
don't forget to share this video, guys.
Yeah, share it. Read what's going on right here.
So I think, how does it work? It's the first time we do it. So you might drop by yourself, right? And then I will add Zeynep. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Ciao. Here we go. Add to the stream. Hi, Zeynep. It's been so cool. Look at you. You're so colorful as the
yes, I am. Yeah. Thanks so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Oh, that's great. And really, actually, it's been such an amazing starting with Amanda and Andrea, right?
Yeah, it was really cool.
And yesterday, when we were talking a little bit about just like the word gambling and whatever there is, you mentioned something that was so cool. You know, like you want to a little bit talk about that?
Yeah, of course. Actually, you know, when you first mentioned gambling, it was such a heavy charge on that word. And as you said, I am coming Turkish culture, and in our culture, we say in kumar. I wouldn't expect my name and kumar or gambling is together. Believe me, it is that heavy words for me. So after that, okay, I am in now access and I know the tools, I know the energy. Still, what is behind that? You know, very heavy charge on that word. And it is so hot topic, and you are so hot lady. So two hot words things up with together. And I said to myself, okay, Zeynep, you can ask to Francesca, if it is not what I know, what I can say, you know, if gambling is not what I knew, and if I drop all my judgment, what would it create? So,
here we go.
Yeah, what you can say there?
It's funny because, like, as we say also at the beginning as well, like we choose like a words that actually it's really like has this as in you can translate in all the languages, right? And anyway, it's really like the risk, right? The risk, but as well like the fact that it's something dangerous as well.
Exactly.
But it's also like something that you do it because you already have a result in mind. And one of the things we have been looking as well, like with the access consciousness tools, but it's also like the fact that whenever you have a result in mind, that never work, right? Like, have you ever think about it? Like, there is a beautiful book called Money Isn't the Problem You Are.
Yes.
And magic as well. In Italian, it's be magic, be it. In Italian, the first time I did read the book, is the two books are together. So I don't know in which one is it now, I don't remember. But anyway, they were saying the fact that every time you already have in mind a result, or have in mind how things have to show up, they will never, because you already create a literal, like, you know, a parallel reality, you know, of that. So it's like living, it's not really living, it's like more trying to survive instead of thrive. That's the thing. But it's also, as well, like one of the things that I love about access consciousness, the fact that you can go beyond the judgment of the word, as we just say with Amanda, and the judgment of yourself in referring to that as well. It's also like the fact of looking for something greater, because when I was looking at the at yourself, when you just get into it, right? Like, would you like a little bit to talk about yourself as well? Like, I know you are a beautiful woman, you do so many things, but how I met you in access consciousness, it's really because you chose to become a translator, a live translator for access consciousness.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Would you have thought this in your life before?
Yeah.
It's not again, at the moment. Anyway, yeah.
I was avoiding gambling, you know. If I can manage, if I can do it, if I fail, you know. Even now, I am as a translator, but still I am struggling talking to, you know, English. If I am gonna make some wrongness, something like that, still I am quite avoiding gambling. You know, what I realized after that, when you say gambling with Francesca, okay, Zeynep, just take a moment. What you charged, what you put on this word, and after that, okay, life is a gambling actually. Every choice is a gambling. But what I can get which awareness I can get, even, you know, with failing. As you said, always I was in resulting mind. Oh, if I do this, it can be wrong. If it goes wrong, it can be like always going conclusion, not seeing the awareness. Thanks to you, you made me gamble with myself, with my talent, with my aims. So I gambled and I win. So thank you so much for that. Yeah. So I started to see gambling is actually not the word we charge those things. So we can play the energy. We can, you know, if we are out of definition, out of judgment, total freedom is with us.
Yeah. But it's funny because from this thing, like, we could actually really compare, like, really saying, my daily gambling is asking question. I was like, what do you mean? For me, that's it, right? Because you say, oh, thanks to you. Well, not really thanks to me. Yeah, I mean, all of us, we are contributing, but it's really just thanks to you. You chose it. You asked question for that to show up in your life and in your business, that becoming a translator, and because you love doing it, but then also what that create for you and the people receiving your translation as well, right? Like it's just like it's become like this never-ending contribution. Like contribution is really this back and forth without any judgment attached. So, but it's also like I'm like talking with you, like true, like for me, looking at to do playing with the words, like I'm gambling, asking questions every day, because most of the time people with their business, their money, their living, everything, they need to have secure things. So many answers, so many like conclusion, to be sure that if they choose it, they will be safe. But there is no really safe place in life, right? Like the fact that you ask a question and you are willing to be present with that and be present, as Amanda said before, we call it trust, call it instinct. In Access as well, we call it awareness. But it's also that you know when is the time to make a different choice, right? Like I knew this even before the Access Consciousness tools. With the Access Consciousness tools, the gift is that I have more freedom because I don't judge anymore what I'm choosing. Before was this like, whoa, well, you know, I say I'm not judge anymore. It's a practice I'm doing every day, you know, to go out of judgment, because, you know, but it's true. Like, what can we really create in our life if we're willing to be this constant question? And you, like Zeynep as well, like if you look at the gambling as well, like most of the time there is this energy attached of money, right?
Exactly.
Like how much money actually, what do you get? How much money people are really willing to ask for in their life to show up? Like, do you get that, you know, like the energy of that? Most of the time people don't think they deserve it.
Exactly.
Right.
Even, you know, asking the amount gives some shame. Oh gosh, it is too much. I seem greedy. No. Yeah, you are right.
It's all of that. So it's really like, what else can we actually play with? Because true, like it's really hard. It's a matter of playing with these tools to get more confidence. And actually, as Amanda said, what is the worst thing could happen? Like, you might just every even if you are not secure of what will show up, you will always have more knowing, right? More awareness, like, and in this reality we call it a lot like experience, whatever you want to call it, but it's a sense of you. I always had more sense of me every time I leap or every time I jump on the cliff, you know. Just like, oh, now I know. Like
and you know, Francesca, when you taste, if you jump once and when you taste that freedom and that, you know, joy, so you can go ahead. And when you said like that, what I remember, I used to say, in a real meaning, you know, if I gamble, I can't keep myself. I will do more and more and more. So instead of, and there was some judgment behind that. So I never ever started, because I said to myself, if I start, I can't stop. So it's better not to touch, not to go.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's an amazing point. If I started and I might like it too much, how do I even stop?
Yeah.
Please talk a little bit more about it, because it's also like, it wasn't really yours. So what was it? What is it? Yeah.
Yeah. What was it?
Yeah.
I was maybe it was afraid of taking my power on my hand.
Yeah.
And just, you know, life is, again, it is a kind of cultural stuff. We took life quite serious. You must be serious. You must be heavy. You must be like that. So
the Ottoman Empire has to.
yeah. And I bought very well. I was really good in quote unquote good girl to follow the rules, follow those kind of things. And yes, you are right. If I start and if I taste that joy, life is actually exactly what Gary says. What is the aim of life? Just having fun, having joy.
Yeah.
So heavy, so light, such a light word, such a light feeling, energy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's brilliant. Like, what if as Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, you just mentioned, like one of his memes, like, what if the purpose of life is having fun?
exactly.
And then when I came across the Access Consciousness tools, this actually really, like, I love this question because it's this meme. It's also like so controversial. So I start adding it to my email signature. And people were like, I could perceive when they were reading, like, this lady is like, crazy. Right? Like, but what if what we have defined as fun, there isn't? Because might be as well that people have fun. Oh, you go out and party all night, or you always laugh. What if that's as well, if you like it, but having fun is really having the constant joy of life, of living. Like I asked them 10 times in the morning, 10 times before going to bed, and most of it, sometimes I also 100 times a day. Like, all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory, right? We ask for ease, joy, and glory. So it's really like, no matter what showed up, this is the mantra of Access Consciousness. If you hear about it, you never heard, but you like it, all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. Try it out. You just need to say it out loud or in your head, and how much the energy around you start changing, because you're really asking for to everything that showed up in everything that happened, like anything, the good, the bad, the ugly, the capacity to have this change instantaneously. Because, like, what if we don't have to blame ourselves anymore?
Exactly.
And what if also in those challenging moments or difficulties, or like all this being serious, we could really have the fun and the joy of living, right?
Yeah.
What would that be? We will have more money. People will actually start maybe like contributing more to our business,
Exactly.
like our relationship, because it's all of that. So yeah, I love it. And I love what you say. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I'm just, we talk a lot. And
yeah, please, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, exactly.
I really love it what you say, the fact of, I've been learned to be so much serious, right? And how many culture, like I remember when I came to Turkey once and I did this evening class with my friend Rebecca Hulse, and we talk about creation, for example. In Turkey, it's not even allowed to mention the word creating.
Exactly. Yeah. We are so careful using that word because just only God creates.
Exactly. Like from the religion culture,
Yes. Yes.
just God is allowed to create.
Exactly.
I'm like, whoa. And so, but it's also like, it's nothing going against God or going against your religion or going against the politician. It's not about, it's really seeing and check. And it's also, for me, what I think is like, start seeing the truth for you, right? It's not even about, I want to fight against this. That doesn't work. It's not fighting against the culture, but it's really seeing what is the true for you, to don't get, yeah.
And another thing is, Francesca, actually going beyond the definition, because every definitions limit us. That's why, creation, gambling. If you look at the point of definition, they are so heavy, so charging. But if we go beyond that, without any definition, without any limitation, just follow the energy, just life is total freedom, total fun.
That's cool.
So
and you're
that's why
Yeah.
Sorry, that's why I can put my name with gambling from now. From now.
And I tell you the truth as well. When this came up in our creation meeting last night, because as well, like I'm having this class on the 1st of August, Access Business and Money, and since I'm so grateful that people creating as well with me, because there is always this like, what else can we contribute? How much fun can we have? But it's never for a result. It's always like to create something greater. And this idea came up. And when the words too, for all day, I had this like, gambling. Should I really show myself with that? Like, on it? And how much I was aware of other people, like realities and points of view. Because if I don't, as you say, right, if I'm so attached to a definition, right, or a reference point of something, and I judge it, that's where I'm not free anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so it's really like the fact that how much relevance I'm putting on that instead of being in the question that we, like it's an out of the judgment. So it's really, yes. Cool. Okay, we are also waiting for Simone Zucker as well. That's our next guest. Let's see if she's coming to. You just need to press enter. Let me see. Enter broadcast studio. Do it, Simone. And we're just doing a little bit of a structure online. It's still this StreamYard is very new. Let's see if she's on it. Don't know. Anything else you wanna?
Yeah, before leaving, I wanna say, I can't wait gambling with you on 1st of August.
Awesome.
Looking forward.
Thank you so much. That's great. Thank you. Simone is here.
Okay,
and
then.
Have a lovely day, and see you soon. See you soon.
Looking forward.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, let me do this. Okay, then I add you.
Hello.
Hello, Simone. Wie geht's?
Oh, sehr gut, danke. We were doing it in German.
Ein bisschen noch. Maybe for a couple of minutes, for a couple of seconds. Nur 2. That's fine. It's cool. It's cool. I'm a little bit hot now. Before it was very, very cold here, and I turned the heating on. I'm in Australia. It's funny. But then now I'm so hot because talking about all this, question change and how to enjoy more fun in my life with you guys, I'm like, my body got so excited.
That's awesome.
So I love the conversation we had so far.
Mm-hmm.
And because you have been as well like a great contribution to creating this hour of, that will be probably more than an hour at this point, of marathon, talking about gambling. Like if you've been listening to it, we talk about how, like, what is that for you? What actually comes up for you? And what would you like to,
I have actually a story about that. Like I was like, as I started facilitating foundation classes, I had a host. It was in Dresden at that time. And she's like, you know what, there's a new business and I would like to invite you and it's about gambling. And I'm like gamble. Like I just, bad word. It's like so many people get poor because of gambling. Like, so many points of view. Whoosh, here they are.
Not even a question, right? You say, what is about?
Just raw. Like, and then, but what if like in Access Visa, everything is an interesting point of view? If I would not have a point of view, I could have a look at it. Like it means nothing. I can have a look and see what's the whole thing. Cool. And I just like kept poking myself and just like everything that brought up, like all the people like, and it's so funny what we're doing. Like all the people gambling all the time. It's not my fault if I do a business with it or not. Like they will not stop gambling because of me. Or they will not play more because of me. This is just the choice that they're having and the choice that I have. Like for me, there's a business opportunity. And I just really, and I looked at it, it was really fun. And I invited a lot of people and actually I made a lot of money at that time. Like really, if I change my point of view, the universe can gift me something different. And the fun thing about that business was I was constantly talking about money. Like this was constantly inviting money into my world, which was really cool.
But you say that you actually made money for that. Cool. But because also as well, like you've been willing, like the fact of being willing to ask what is the energy that comes up, right? Like what is that? And will it be contributing to me? Like it's not having, as you say, not having already a defined judgment of that it's wrong, but always being the question, right? That's it. So as well, like, but then there was a fun of it when you got over like your judgment or point of view that was wrong, but then there was a fun. And then it's also like, the amount of people that say, oh, let's trade money as well, like, like invest in money and trade money, trade. There is no right way to be and do that.
You mean there's no right way to money?
There is no right way to money. That's like, we could be like, there is no right way to money. That's true.
A class by itself, like, and like, how often do we search for the right way of being and searching and creating? Like, how much are we instead of just asking for it? Like, what would be fun here,
Yeah, there is no. It's also like, but there is your own way of, because like we all of us as such a precious, like we are such a precious difference itself, like ourselves, and so that's the point. Look, with the access consciousness tools, one of the things I've been going through is really, as I already mentioned, like getting out of the judgment and asking, what do I know? That if I allow to know and receive information, it will create a totally different reality. And I've been willing to ask with money this question all the time. Mm-hmm. And I know most of the time people actually, in a way or in the other, there is this huge judgment. Oh, why are you talking all the time about money? The other day I was posting about the class, the first, the Access Business and Money that I'm having on the 1st of August. And a sweet lady wrote this, like, she will say, oh, money, 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 money. Money like honey. Money are not the way, but I prefer, anyway, something like, I prefer to have more bees, so I will have more honey instead of money. I'm like, I get it, but then it's just, I know, like, but how much we have been educated that we are not allowed to ask more. I am a very good Catholic and really in the past as well. So I know the religion, the culture, that why are you talking always about money? A rich person will never go on in heaven. Never. I'm like, really? And why you are so super full of gold? So that doesn't really, match the energy. So what is that for you as well? Like, I love your brain. It's so weird. StreamYard. I feel on myself like, anyway, I need to get, I don't have to watch myself.
It goes the wrong direction. Yeah.
I got distracted all the time.
Yeah, like that's so true. Like so many, when it comes to money, like it seems to be the right thing to be and do with money to have just a little, like just a small amount, like not too less, but also not too much. Like then you kind of, it seems to be right. But also like, yeah, who does it all belong to? Like it's the whole society. Everyone has that point of view, and no one is really questioning, does that need to be my reality? No. And in Access, it was like, and I mean, I've created a lot of magic as well during my Access career. Like, I was coming to Access with no money. Like, I did not have even 20 euros for buying food by myself. Like, that was my starting place. And I mean, I have been to a bunch of classes and with using the tools. So it's just to just discover, oh, all of that limitations are not even mine. And if you fight for a point of view, like, this is, like, a lot of money is bad or rich people are blah, 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 then have a look. Is that really your point of view if you have to defend it so strong?
Yeah, and it's so tiring in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I know. It's just like, and every time you are defending against or for something, that never give you what you, it's nothing. It's never something fun, I would say. It's always like tiring, and you create this conflict with money. So what is your reality with money as well, that is possible? But it's also money, business, and living, like it's all together, right? Yeah.
It's to discover. It's really like, I would not say I have an answer here. It's just like I'm on a journey and discovering more and more and more. And yes, there are still places that are just like, bah. And what if that also is not wrong? It's like, okay, when I'm ready, I would,
it's really like things, most of the time when we talk about consciousness, people don't want to even put things together, mind and consciousness. But it's also like, I discover like how much more I have, how much more freedom and how much more of me I have now with these tools. Because it's not about showing other or proving other what you have. Mm-hmm. It's really like being able to create the life you desire. Because I like what you say, you started that you didn't have money even for it. And then you chose something different and you start using the tools. You went to Access Consciousness classes, but hasn't been the Access Consciousness, has been the Access Consciousness classes through the tools that you in a way become aware of and you learn. But what has been your choice that made a difference. Because
as you say, choice for me, but like a certain point, like I guess I was half a year in my second body class. I went there because my body would like to go for receiving body work. I did not have a lot of I'm not even sure how I paid the class actually. It was just like, it was a choice. My body would like to go. And then on that way home, I was like, what is that? That it seems like for me, everything goes so fast. And others are like started way before me. They're just standing on a total different point still. And then there was the sentence coming like, it's not about how long you do something. It's about the choices you make. Like, oh, I got the tools and made different choices. And sometimes say I'm lazy. I just love the shortcut. I don't like to put and poke myself for 4 trillion years or asking questions. Like, I'm like, choosing different, damn, there. Like it's for me, I love to choose to have it quicker.
That's great. And thank you for being here and thank you for being you. And we have been actually knowing each other since quite a long, and both of us has been changing a lot and keep doing it and keep choosing more for us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We have another guest, right? Because actually it's funny how we say, yes, we'll be. And then I love this conversation. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you for coming here.
Ciao, everybody. See you on the 1st of August.
Victor is coming on soon. Thank you, Simone. Do you know how to drop? I can do it. Ciao. Add to the stream. We have Victor.
Yay! Hello, my friend.
How are you doing?
I'm awesome.
Such a long time, huh?
Yeah, right? I was happy when I got the invitation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. You pop and I'm like, I asked Amanda Anderson, the first guest on this is Victor's sister. And yesterday I'm like, maybe your brother want to come. Because you have an energy as well. Like, it's just like, in a way, you're so controversial for a lot of people, just looking at you, right? So it's true.
I guess.
But it's also the another thing I like, for you, the constant willingness to be you and choose for you, no matter what. And what I saw from your Facebook Live and your different life experience, call it like that, quote unquote, things have been showing up in such a different way for you. So, and I know we could talking about gambling, but
Yeah, well, it's funny when you say that because it was like I had no idea what we were going to talk about. And what showed up just before I jumped on was actually what you just touched upon, which is because for me, basically, my point of view is always that I'm not creating enough, that I'm not choosing enough, that I'm not being enough. I'm kind of a master of judgment. And I'm working on it, but it's funny because I'm always so aware that I could choose so much more.
Yeah.
So from someone else's eyes, it might be, oh, that dude is choosing some really cool stuff, and wow, look at him go, and that's not necessarily my point of view, but a question that showed up that I love asking in the morning is, what can I be today that I've never been willing to be before? Because that sort of reminds me of, going out there and gamble or whatever you want to call it, because that's when, I know that I'm happy when I'm choosing and creating and stepping out of my comfort zone and, going for it.
Yeah.
So like, what can I be today? Not from a judgment of what I'm not, but what, from the possibility of what I could be, I guess.
I love it. Thank you for that. Because it's also like, if we are always looking at of what we are not, like also like it's like it's sort of a message that we send out, and that's what we always will have in front of us, what we are not. But that's
Exactly.
like, if we actually start finally acknowledging what we be and the capacity we have, then it's really, when science say that as soon as you look at the molecules, just as soon as you look at the molecules start changing, because you actually project an energy on it. But if there is a gratitude, if there is an acknowledgement, if there is something like, as you say, like the question, what can I add to my life? It's like right away there is this pumping energy off, right? But if we start judging it, it's like,
Yeah.
seems that someone pull the power off, and you're just like, oh, okay, cool. Judgment is not fun, right?
No, I mean, I guess it must be, because I do it.
He must be.
Yeah.
I love it. So what is the thing, what are the areas you love to judge the most? Let's now having fun a little bit. I'm looking at that.
Oh, anything. I can
Anything
judge anything. I'm a master.
of yourself. No
Yeah.
one around you, but more for yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, it's self-judgment.
I have another master judger himself, Mark, outside. He just came from home. And I know you know him very well. Also, you were not roommate, mate. We're living in the same house, but as well, like how much. Don't worry, I can judge myself so well. But it's also, thank you for being willing to say that, because there is such a vulnerability on that. People usually don't want to see that they're judging themselves.
Yeah. And it's like, that's obviously not everything that's going on. That's not all I'm doing. I'm not just constantly judging myself. But it's like, I've been looking at it a lot, and there's always a choice that comes after judging yourself as well. Like, what do you do with that? You can judge yourself for judging, or you can look at, what you're actually choosing, and then maybe you want to change it. So that's something I've been, looking at a lot, especially I would say the last like 6 months or whatever, since all of the changes going on in the world, and I'm kind of stuck in Sweden, and like, you have a lot of space to really like look at what I'm choosing and to choose gratitude instead of crap, which is way more fun.
It's way more fun. And then when you choose gratitude, right away, all the judgments goes away. They can't live together. That's one of the amazing thing as well, right? Because then I'm like, also, since we're talking here, like as well, like define creation, how much money you made and how my business is going and blah, blah, blah. Most of the time, like if you start, like money doesn't show up if you keep judging yourself. Your business doesn't expand if you keep saying, oh, I haven't done this because I'm wrong. Or I haven't. What if, because one of the things I notice about myself as well, when I'm not starting something, there might be more information I need to have, right? Like in business, for example. And then I'm actually willing to ask, okay, what I'm missing here? What else do I need to be aware of to start? But the easier things is to judge yourself, well, I'm a lazy person. I don't want to do it, right? I don't want to be it. That's easy. So how much for myself too, I've been actually find comfort and the judgment in the past. But you talk about gratitude, and that's my preferred tool. So I'm really asking, like, can you talk a little bit about that?
And you know what it all comes down to, at least for me, is being happy and having fun. And so like whatever brings you joy, and nothing else really matters. But it's such a cool thing to like, when you can allow yourself to be present and get the awarenesses of what you're choosing, because then you can change it. And that's like the value of that. Like, I heard a friend of ours, Chris Hughes, he said something on a telecall, I think it was yesterday, that I thought was so cool. And it was something like, anything you're trying to prove is actually because you don't believe that is true.
Ooh.
And I was like, whoa, right. You know, because like proving has been a big thing for me. So anytime I'm going around like trying to prove that I'm something, it's actually because I believe that I'm not. So that's pretty cool when you can start to look at that and like, okay, so what am I trying to prove? Because then you could get the awareness of like, oh, that's probably actually something that I don't believe is true for me. And then again, like when you become aware of it, you can change it. It's not like an absolute truth that it could never be true for you. But when you become aware of it, you can change it. And that's fucking cool. Like that excites me.
I love it. I love it too. I love actually what they say yesterday. I was listening as well. I'm like, you know what those are moment as well? Because you knew, I'm like, thank you. But it's also how much more freedom give us as well when we are like working and creating with other people. Because then you could perceive like there is like this energy, but then if you know what it is, you can't judge it anymore. So if you don't judge it, it doesn't even create the tension, you know, that you're just like aware of. And I'm like, okay, it's cool. What if awareness is most of it are just information? And most of the time we don't have to do anything with them. You don't have to change. You don't have to, you have to change. We have to change all the time. But no, I meant you don't have to change other people's reality. You don't have to change people working with you. You just like, because when you be you without the tension, everything most of the time, like just roll amazing. There is the fun, the joy that you were mentioning. Yeah. That's so cool. Yeah. I'm so grateful actually now, because like this had been yesterday we talked 24 hours ago was really less actually with let's do this, and then we created and everyone was on fire to do it. But then I didn't really have any expectation of what that would have been, but there was an energy, and then just the fact that we have been talking together with you and the other, like, and it gave me more of me all the time. So I'm super grateful. I'm really, really super grateful. And if you could give us a tool with money that you have been using since you start using the Access Consciousness tool, also before, it doesn't matter, but something that you could share with people that you know that changed for you a lot. You might. Now
well, there's so much though, and like what shows up is the significance, like to not make it that significant and different from anything else. Like there's so much judgment and point of view and ideas attached to money in this reality, and it's like I love that thing of that you were talking to my sister about, and the thing of like what's the worst thing that can happen, and like what is this catastrophe that you're always like imagining would occur with a choice that, by the way, never fucking occurs. It's like, you know, nothing goes to shit ever. Like, you know, every choice creates something, and it's like, what is the worst thing that can happen? And I don't know, I can't think of a tool right now, but there's so much around. Like everything is just creation, and what we create money to be is what it becomes, and so, you know, that applies to anything. So just like for me, when I found Access, and this is like something obviously that we're all like constantly working on, it's just like looking at the points of view that I have about money, for example, because it's just point of view. You know, you can change everything, And it's so cool to like see people like yourself change all the time, and like what you've been willing to choose and change with money is like, whoa, there's nothing stopping us from choosing anything.
No. And it includes everything, really. It's not just about the money. It's just, and actually I would say it's never about the money. That's one of the things, because while you say it, like as well, oh, what is the tool? Like, well, it's a choice, the creation, but never been about the money. I never chose something about the money. And I know you as well. Whatever you choose because you know that will create something greater for you and the world around you. But it's not for the immediate result. So as well, too, like, as soon as whenever we choose for the immediate result of that, like, oh, I'm doing this because I'm having this amount, most of the time it's not even fun. I never did that. And then, poof, money showed up. It's not fun. Because there is that joy and the fun, right? That it's because that there is like a sort of like, what if money, it's just money. You know, what the worst things could happen? I'm losing and then I will create it again. If you think the amounts of the money that came through my hands and then passed and then they went, like it's, I don't even want to look at, I need to have a little bit of a time, but it's a lot. I'm 42 years old, 43. So, you know.
I would never have guessed.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Perfect. So, but it's also like, if I look at that, and now I forgot, now you actually distract me. I'm like blushing.
I'm sorry.
But true, like the fact of, what I was saying, yes, because there is an energy whenever, hello, Mark, you want to come and say hello to Victor? No. So whenever you choose something that you know will create greatness, there is all the universe that want to support you. So that's the amazing thing. That's one of the things I know. I actually always like have been surprised, and because I'm like, if I would have choose this for the money, probably would have stopped there. But what can you choose that beyond money that will create, you know, a greater,
and at the same time include the possibility of money, though, like, you know, to not exclude, like, because like all the judgments and points of view that we have limits us, and it's like, you know, it's not about the money probably for a lot of us, but we can still enjoy it. Like, money is a lot of fun, and a lot becomes possible when you allow yourself to have money, right? So
I
it's
love,
like, you know,
the sentences, I love money too. Yeah,
exactly. You know, but that's an important part of it, I think, you know, because you can go, it's not about the money, then you exclude the money totally, and it's like, yeah, well, you know, include it, enjoy it, fucking, you know, receive it.
Money, how also, like, you have been hearing like Gary Dagman saying all the time, but how money, the purpose of money is changing other people's reality, right? Yesterday, I don't know, you know my daughter, she's 23, right? And then we were talking about, she's doing a way that she's working on the restaurant, and she was talking about that someone gave her a tip. And I said, you know, mommy, remember when we were in London, not in London, in Paris, and this guy actually gave us, he didn't even know about how really do the job. He was very new, you could see it. And then we were there with Dr. Dane here, and Dane gave him $100, €100 tip just to him. And I said, this is for you. And she was like, mommy, but you know how that changed his life? I'm like, yeah. But it was, but for me here, finally getting it, I'm like, yeah, that's true. Like, what inspiration and like motivation to be even more of you. Like, what is actually really the purpose of money is to change other people's life without having the superiority that you know what that will be. Just be a, I love Dan. He's always putting all this in the chat, all this heart. Ciao. I'm just saying hello to people interacting. Go ahead.
I forgot already.
Sorry.
There was probably nothing.
Or everything.
Or everything. No, I was just gonna say that includes yourself as well, like to change other people's realities and your own.
Thank you, Victor. Absolutely. I hope you enjoy your day. And thank you for being here with me today. It's been such a pleasure. We also have Samantha coming on next. And yeah, I can't wait to see you in person as well.
Yeah, right? I want a hug.
Yeah, let's create even greater. Thank you, Victor.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Love you.
Love you too. Ciao.
I have no idea how to get out
I
of
can
it.
remove you and then I will add Samantha.
Okay.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Bye. Ciao. Bye. Hello.
Hello, Francesca.
How are you doing? It's so good. Yeah, I love it.
So we need to remind the people to
share the video.
Yeah.
Sorry. Thank you so much. I've been so intrigued with the conversation that it's been like so amazing. So yes, as you see on the slide on the bottom, if you share this Facebook Live with the hashtag Gambling with Francesca, you can win 15-minute session with myself.
And what would 15 minutes with Francesca create for you and your money flow? This lady knows something.
Don't know.
You know something about money, right?
Yeah, I do. But I do also because, like, as we say as we have been talking in the last hour in this Zoom, it's been so amazing, the willingness, like, to always be in the question. There is the knowing about money, for example. I might be aware of, as a facilitator of access consciousness too, like more tools, like more ways to change. But then each of us has their own pressure knowing. What do I mean? That what do you know? That if you're allowed to know, will create a totally different reality. Most of the time, we don't allow ourselves to even talk about the crazy idea comes up or the awareness, right? Like, that's that's true, right? Like, I know we know each other since a long time, and people probably haven't seen us around the world, but now you have a confidence, right, Samantha, to be new, and also like being willing to being seen and show people. But before, like earlier, like there was the same for you, like that, with money, business, and living, or was there no friendship?
Definitely not at all. I mean, I was telling to someone the other day about taking photos and doing videos, and it's like, even with money, the willingness to receive and to be seen, it includes the willingness to receive, even if it's judgment, even if you fail at it, there's still that being willing to receive that is part of the willingness to be seen as well. So yeah, no, I wasn't always like that.
And that was that's actually a quite tricky part, right? The willingness to receive everything, not just judge, like admiration, love, jealousy, judgment, good and bad, anything. That's a big
I mean, even admiration, and I know, like, and that too, when someone acknowledges you for something, it was always really hard for me to receive that, because for me, for many years, to me, I just felt like I failed at everything, that I wasn't good at anything, or I could always be better. And it's getting better. It is
getting there,
and I'm getting there, and it does change. It changes your whole life. Just that willingness to know that you can receive, and you can change something. And we're talking about money and being willing to ask and receive as well, and how we create that. And what I've been reminded of in these conversations is, for so long, I would always ask, you know, I would just like to have enough money, like just enough to cover everything. And for years, like literally years, it could come to the end of the month and I would literally just have enough to the last cent, penny, euro, whatever you want to call it, for my bills, to pay school fees, to, like, you know, buy groceries and all of the, like, I could never get why I could never receive more money, you know. And then playing with the tools of access and actually asking for more, it changes. Just like really, oh, that's all I've been asking for. You know, what can I ask for now? What more can I ask for?
But it's amazing what you just say, because like then you realize that that was what you were asking for.
Yep.
So, and probably you thought that was what you were supposed to ask, right? Like, what should I ask for? Yeah.
Yeah, I was always taught, like, don't ask for too much. You know, it's bad. It's bad to ask for too much, and kind of, you know, accept what you have, because there are some people that don't have.
Sure, and actually, it's all our fault, right? Like, I remember as well when I was a kid, like, well, you need to eat everything because there are kids in Africa dying. I'm like, okay, let's eat everything. But it's also like, now it's a bigger conversation. But when you don't want to go there, but when you grow up there is such a sense of like guiltiness as well, because that, you know, to ask for more, or you need to eat all your food, and those are just like, I think my mom was just saying me because she want to be a good mom. Not she was because she want to, you know, show me the wrong way, the wrong path, because like this is what the global thought of, yeah, you can't have too much because of the why. You know, there are people that have less. Well, but what if I will have a little bit too much, I can also contribute to people that have less? And what if it's all, you know, like, that's true too. So, and you come from a country as well that it's very controversial in all of that, because it's also our background, cultural background, how much that's actually contributes to everything that you just said, right?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah. Very, very much so. And you know, just looking at changing that for myself, and being willing to, what we're talking about, take a gamble on a choice, you know.
Go back to the topic.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, you know, and please, you ask me anything. I will, you know, explore anything with you, Francesca.
But it's really interesting because, like, getting a gamble too, like, I don't know for you. Now for me, it's like just saying it's fun, and yeah, absolutely. I don't even care about the results, right? But then how many times, I mean, if I look at you as well, like, how many times the choices you have made was the gamble, and I've taken a gamble, because then was like, oh, Lord, I don't know. Will I win? Will I lose? Will I fail? Will I do? But then, like, yeah, how many, like, how it's been for you, like, in the last few years, or what else have been changing on allowing yourself to taking a gamble on the choice, on the question to make? Yeah. Or you want to share in that?
Yeah, definitely. So, you know, the very first time I kind of took a gamble on me was when I resigned from a full-time job. And I said to my boss, I can do this job in half the time. I'm going to work half day, and then I have time to fetch my kids from school and go and study something else and do all of that. And I remember the day I was like so nervous and so scared, and I even said to them, like, I'll take less money even, you know, and I'd worked out this whole plan of, you know, saying this is what I will do. And they gave it to me, and they, you know, said, yes, I can work half day, and I earned a little bit less. And then the result of that is, for the next 4 years that I was there, I was the top salesperson in the company.
Whoa.
Working half day, and it's like acknowledging the times when you do take a gamble. You don't know what it's going to show up like. You don't know how it's going to turn out.
Yeah.
But that really turned out great for me, and it gave me the very first gamble ever in my life that I'm like, okay, I can do this, because leaving a job, 2 kids to put through school, 2 kids to feed, and just boom, doing that was a very big thing. And
it turned out even greater than what you thought, right?
Way greater, way greater. I eventually left and started, running my own business, and found Access, and here I am today. And that's a very long story in a very short sentence. But taking a gamble it's like, what else have you don't really have anything to lose. Like, that's a gamble. Like, if you believe you have something to lose, then it can only come out that way. Mm-hmm. With you losing. If you go in with a gamble, with that energy of what else is possible, asking that question, with the energy of that, then anything is truly possible. And more and more and more, I get the sense of that, and each time it turns out greater.
It's amazing. It's also thank you so much, because it reminds me, the fact of also mentioning that everything is possible. And when we say this, I could hear other people's heads, and as you do, right? Or like, oh, well, of course, look at you, like you're there, and like, you're beautiful. And then, of course, like, everything is possible for you. Yeah, but we haven't, you always been, you're beautiful, but it's been choice by choice by choice by choice. There's been creating and what you be today. So it's also like and that trust of everything is possible, because if you it's really your point of view that creates your reality. And what if everything is possible doesn't have to have a definition, and take a gamble on you doesn't really have to have a straight result, right? Because could actually turn out even greater than what you think. And at the same, this is like, I remember a long time ago, and I was saying this yesterday to Amanda as well, that I don't know, is it going and gambling in South Africa, is it allowed? Or it's forbidden?
Yeah, we have casinos and that around, and you can go and gamble, and you've got to be a certain age to gamble. So I think you have to be 18 or over. See, I don't even know, but you do. Yeah. And I mean, my partner now, we'll sometimes go, not now during COVID, but we're like, oh, well, let's go and have some fun. And we'll each take, 500 Rand, which is like not even 30 euro. And, but to some people that would be like a lot of money just to, and we'll just go, oh, well, let's just have fun and play like the one-armed bandit or whatever. And it's not about the money. It's just about having fun in that moment. Yeah. And mostly we play that and we leave with the same amount of money that we played, or a little bit more. Because it's not about the money. It's the willingness to lose, because you're not really losing anything. It's the energy of just having fun. Let's see what happens, Exactly. And it's not a planned thing. It's not it's just, oh, okay, we've had lunch or we've had dinner or whatever. Let's quickly pop in there and let's just have some fun for 5 minutes. And it is like that, 5 minutes,
It's true. Like, is that the fun of it without being like attached to that, because then if that becomes the source of your life, that doesn't work. But that's with everything. Otherwise become a distraction. But it's also like, I remember my mom and my dad, they love doing that as well, because in Venice we have a casino. There is just 2 cities in Italy that have a casino. In Venice, where I was born, it's one. So it's really like this, let's do it. And then my mom always won so much. She didn't really have it all the time, my little mom. It's funny. I went through there once, long time ago. Are you serious? You always win. She was like, no, I know the numbers. I know things come up. But she's been always like working hard in her life. And that was the fun for her. Being willing to, you know, have that time of, I'm taking a risk, you know, doesn't matter if I'm losing. And it's fun. Like, it's really like how much more fun and joy can we really invite today to our life. And we are not telling you guys go and gamble. That's not a thing. You watch all the hour and 20 minutes of this Facebook Live to really get it. It's also every time we define something as a wrong, are we willing to receive from them? Right? That's also
that question.
Yeah. It's also something there. What if it's not about right? Go ahead. I know you have to say something. So
yeah. Oh, yeah, Francesca. You know me so well. Yeah. So that conversation of gambling is. I grew up and my dad gambled every weekend. He played the horse races, and it was like it was, you know, quite a traumatic kind of a day for the whole family, because we knew that he would, you know, as young kids, the energy around all of that was quite intense, because depending on how the day went for him, he would be in a good mood or a bad mood. And that energy of that gamble and money, you know, played quite a big role in how I gambled with my money and gambled with myself around all of that. So even coming into this thing of just going into a casino and spending 500 Rand on playing a game, it took, you know, a lot of change for me, and obviously, you know, the support from my partner, and just like, it's okay, it's just money, it's fun, let's just go. And changing the energy of that has been such a contribution to me of, okay, you know, it is just fun, and it doesn't have to always be this unpleasant thing of just, you know, having some fun with money. So yeah,
it's also like when we talk, it's also that when we talk about the fact that taking a gamble for yourself, as you say, as since the beginning, it's really like, what if there is no matter, it's what if you can't fail? What if there is nothing you can ever lose? It's always something that you choose greater for you. That's in life too. Like most of the time, like when we have a big choice or a small choice to make, but we don't have the answer or the conclusion what that would be, and what you have is the trust on your knowing, right? And you just need to trust, and then you will be more confident in the future. That's also like this has been for me as well, like, and for you, I know as well. So it's that fact of, because every time you think you are losing something, is you are losing really something, or you are choosing greater for you? And those are all questions, if you guys can, you know, like, you notice that, because then no one has really the answer. Myself, Samantha, all the other people came on, all the other access, no one really has the answers. We have a lot of questions. That's one of the most amazing things that I love about Access Consciousness, because through a question, what choice can you make, right? Just asking a question, what action can come after that? Yeah, like, that's just been my life savior as well. If I wouldn't have that, I could have, I would say, probably, I don't know if I will be still here, or I will be in a little box. I don't have idea. I'm just enjoying. Asking questions. But I couldn't imagine my life without those. So yeah, cool.
Yeah, I couldn't either imagine my life without the questions, asking a question, and really no point of view of the how something comes into your life, just asking the question.
And also being willing to be surprised from the universe too. Like the how, what if there is no relevance, but let's just like receive the surprise of what it will be. I'm actually very, very amazed that I know people have been watching and going back, and it's been this long thing. It's an hour and 25 minutes at the moment, and I'm so grateful. So
Thank
we
you.
still,
It's been
thank you,
amazing.
Amanda. It's been really cool, and thank you everyone for joining. And share it still in the next 24 hours. If you want to share this video with the hashtag Gambling with Francesca, you can win. Since we're talking about winning a 15-minute session with myself. And we want to all invite you. I'm having a class on the 1st of August. It's Access Business and Money. It's one-day class, and really like looking at the tools of Joy of Business, how to really have a different reality with money and business. This is not about having the right reality, like inviting you to know what you know more. So we'll be there, and I might have also a free Zoom next week. There is so many things going on. You will see it. And thank you so much.
There is a free Zoom.
There is a free Zoom right on Monday or Tuesday. So.
On the 27th of July, I just quickly looked for the information. On the 27th of July, there is a free Zoom with Francesca, a free
Cool.
call.
And that will be also translated. See, Amanda just posted too. Funny how it's good. I am very, very much grateful. Look at what we have been creating today and all of that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Francesca. Thank you, everybody. You're beautiful.
Ciao. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.